Om Shanti. So today Baba says that we have always taken this concept of omnipresence to be true, and the whole world thinks that God is omnipresent. But today Baba says the Father explains, you have now come into the lap of Ram, that is Shiv Baba. God is called Baba as he is the Father. Have you ever heard of a father being called omnipresent? They would say it was written by God Vyas in such and such a scripture. The Father explains, you have taken no benefit at all from the knowledge of omnipresence. Someone who grants salvation is definitely required. That must definitely be someone else. Only God, the Father, grants salvation. This is your godly birth. You are now at the confluence age. So, Baba says that one thing is that it's not true that Baba is omnipresent. So Baba is a someone who is somewhere, not a something who can be everywhere. So if you are a someone, you have to be somewhere. If you're a something, you can be everywhere. So Baba says, first thing first, if one understands that God is not a something, he is a someone. And a someone cannot be everywhere. And that's why Baba every day asks us to ask people this question, what is your relationship with God? And when they say that we are his children, then you are a someone. So obviously God is also a someone. You are not a thing. So he is also not a thing, and he is also not everywhere. So this is one thing. So the truth that he is not omnipresent is important. But equally important is that even if we worked with an idea which is not true, that idea of omnipresence is not helpful. It doesn't benefit you. That's what Baba says. So even if it benefited you, you could have continued working with it. And Baba says that Baba in the Murli today also mentions this thing in another paragraph. I will read that also, and then we will continue with the discussion. So Baba says that this is such a big mistake that, God is a corporeal being and he is Sri Krishna. So God is an incorporeal being. Yes, he is a supreme soul. And then Baba says, you have to understand that God is the Father. At least keep God in that position of God. How can everyone be the same? Okay, so how can everyone be the same? And when you say omnipresent, it means that everyone is God. Yes, so everyone is God and everyone is the same. And Baba says that this kind of a idea doesn't serve you well, because you need, so God today says that I am the one who liberates you and salvages you. So he says that I'm the one who grants salvation. So I give you mukti and jivan mukti, gati and sadgati. So, and if you think that every soul is God, then who will give you salvation? Okay, so Baba today says that I grant you salvation and you are in degradation. So obviously when you are in degradation, there is someone else who will come and give you salvation. You cannot uplift yourself from degradation on your own. Yes, and also no human can do it. That is why Baba has to come from the soul world to do this task. And Baba today says in the Murli that, and I was thinking about this thing, you see, that when you think that you are God and that everyone else around you is God, and God is in matter and in souls and this and that, then you cannot see beyond yourself. So there is no one who can pull you higher than you are. And even if you look up to other human beings and try to learn from them, we as a whole civilization are in degradation. So there is no reference for purity or truth or pure love that we have in the world. So you have absolutely no one who can introduce you to who you are, because nobody is an embodiment of that. And you need someone higher to pull you into higher consciousness. So, there is a lot of talk about consciousness in the world, and they say that consciousness creates reality. But then for a different reality, you need a different consciousness. And then they always use this term higher consciousness. But then if God is omnipresent and He is everywhere, then where is higher consciousness? So this is it. This is all there is. And then you keep tapping into each other's energy and you keep falling further. So there has to be someone who can uplift you from this fallen state. And obviously that one has to be external. He cannot be one among us. Because if he was one among us, we would have uplifted each other. So that's why Baba says that I'm not the same thing as you. So I'm a separate being. So you're not like pieces of me floating around. You're not like that. So I am a separate being, and then B, I am not here. So you travel this journey from Satyug to Kalyug, and you see the highest state of yourself, and then there is slowly this degradation. But all this time, I am in the soul world. And Baba says, and when I come and you really have yoga with me, which is Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga means connection with the highest on high. Then you shift from a human to a deity. Because when you tap into higher consciousness, you rise. That's the law. So Baba says, God is not omnipresent. God is not the same thing as a soul. A soul is different. God is different. Yes, He is a supreme soul. So He has some qualities of the soul, but then there is a difference, and He is a separate being. And then God comes and sits in the body of Brahma Baba and teaches us. And uh, when we tap into Him, when we connect to Him, we also rise higher. And Baba says, if you work with this idea of omnipresence, then it doesn't benefit you, because then how do you recognize the one who grants salvation? Or you work with this idea that I am the degraded and I am the salvator, and that's not true. So you need someone external to come and uplift you. And what is it about Baba that Baba comes and gives, which we are calling higher consciousness? So you see that a soul is made of 7 qualities. So knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And when we say degraded soul, so today also Baba talks about, this whole cycle which nobody knows in the world. Nobody knows that you become Sato Pradhan, Sato Rajo Tamo, and Tamo Pradhan. So nobody knows that there is a cycle where there is continuous degradation of the soul. And although science talks about the law of entropy, where they say it's a natural law that everything will move from an organized to a disorganized state, or everything will deplete and degrade. So they say that it's a natural law, but still we don't understand that we souls were also pure, and we were also in our elevated stage, and then we degraded like this. So we understand that every machinery goes through wear and tear. Yes, so in economics we heard about depreciation. So we take that into account. We understand that you build a house, it goes from new to old in some time, but then we don't understand that the same thing applies to the soul also. And why to the soul? That's also an interesting question, because the soul works with matter and it becomes body conscious. So if the soul stayed in the soul world forever, it wouldn't get depleted. But because we come in this world and we become body conscious, so we become depleted. And because the body is a part of matter and everything in this physical world is depleting, and you are in the consciousness of that, so you also start losing your power. Is that right? Yes. So you see that body consciousness is like this. You are the soul and this is matter, and you entwine yourself with matter. And then matter is degrading. So you are also pulled down because you have entwined yourself with matter. It's not like a soul is subject to degradation per se. But when you're body conscious, you become depleted. So, and a very simple example of it is, in day-to-day life, when you talk to somebody and you somebody says, this person is the source of my stress, or I don't have my job going right and that's the source of my stress. And then you tell them, why don't you just stop stressing about it? And I don't stress about work. Why do you stress so much? So, and that person doesn't get it. Why? Because if you are work conscious, if you are relationship conscious, then that consciousness is like a glue which will, inevitably pull you down. If the relationship is not working well and you are relationship conscious, if the work is not going well and you're work conscious, then that consciousness is like the glue which will pull you down with the work, with the relationship. And this is why we get depleted, and the rate of depletion is also very linked to the state of body consciousness. So that's why, when we are relatively soul conscious, so the rate of depletion is from 16 degrees to 14 degrees in 2500 years. And then the rate of depletion is so fast. So from Dwapar Yuga, we started at 14 degrees and then here we are with no degrees, no kala. And that's because, and it's depleting so fast these days. You see somebody young, dynamic and smart and full of energy and hope and faith one day, and after 1 year you look at them, they are changed people, completely changed. The personality has changed, the attitude has changed, the outlook has changed. And why? Because of body consciousness, and because you're living in an unpredictable world where everything is disintegrating and you are identifying with it. So obviously you will end up losing your internal energy. So the drama will play out as it is destined to play out. But how much you are affected by it will be decided by your level of body consciousness. And how much you are affected by it has got nothing to do with what is going on outside. And it has got everything to do with your attachment to it. Okay, so people will come and go, things will come and go. There is a disintegrating force. It is the end of Kali Yuga. That's the truth. But there is no reason for you to feel upset and stressed and anything if you are soul conscious. But because we are body conscious, pretty body conscious, so with the depletion of time, we also get depleted. So this is something that we need to understand first. And then Baba says that Baba says, I'm not some matter that just, keeps, what do you say? It keeps, I think flying around. So people think that God is some omnipresent energy or this or that. And Baba says, no, I have a concrete job to do. And Baba says, when you get all depleted and degraded, I come and restore you to your original state. And I do it in a very practical manner. I'm God, you call me the liberator, you call me the one who salvages. I'm called the one who gives liberation and liberation in life. I'm the purifier. You address me with these names, and I really do this job. And Baba says, I come and sit in the body of Brahma Baba, and then I first tell you, so when the soul gets depleted, it is robbed of truth, peace, purity, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And then Baba gives all of that to us. So first thing is, we have forgotten the truth about ourselves, which is called knowledge. So there is no knowledge about who we are. There is no knowledge about who belongs to us. There is no knowledge about the drama. There is no knowledge about how we were and how we would be in the future. And then Baba gives us that knowledge. And Baba says, how do you, if you keep keep telling yourself that God is omnipresent, how will you recognize me? And how will you take this knowledge? And nobody else in the world is going to give you this knowledge, because nobody is in the state of truth. So Baba gives us the true knowledge. And then Baba gives us the understanding that our original state is purity. So these days, people have, I think, even apart from human beings, they have started thinking about themselves as sexual beings. There is so much the identification with the body and the gender and lust, that people have started thinking of themselves as sexual beings, I think. And Baba says you need to be reminded that you are a pure soul. You are pure in your original state. When you were in the soul world, you didn't even have a body, and you were still you, and you could think, and you see, even without a body, a soul is a soul with mind, intellect, and sanskar. And then when you came down in the golden age, you are a soul, and you are a pure soul, and you have a pure relationship. You have pure relationships. You do your work without greed and without ambition, and you are not in the trap of any vice. And you conducted yourself beautifully without lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. There were children also. And no lust was required, Baba says. And then Baba reminds us, of our purity. And Baba tells us what purity is and what the soul is capable of. And then Baba tells us about peace. And Baba says peace is not related to external sound. So when you remember you are a dot, a full stop, a soul, you can just put a full stop to your mind and just relish your peaceful state whenever you want, amidst noise, amidst chaos, because that's your true religion. And you just need to connect with your true religion, that of peace. You don't have to ask anybody to keep quiet if you want to be peaceful. It's just you tapping into your peace. And peace is a thought away. You just go within and know that I am a dot and I'm still calm, peaceful. And internally, there is no sound, there is complete silence and complete peace. So that's how you tap into your peace. And Baba teaches us what is true love. So Baba says, true love is not something that makes you an addict. I love you, I can't live without you. It's an oxymoron. These two statements can't go together. Love is a very empowering thing. Love is not something that makes you an addict. And you don't say, I love you, so I can't live without you. What has love made you then? So Baba says, there is only one love, the love of the soul for Baba. And when you love me, which I teach you to, loving Baba means doing what Baba says. That's true love, and there is only one kind of love in the world, which is the love of the soul for Baba. And Baba says, when you do that, then I make you loveful. And then you are able to be in harmony with everything and everyone. So the basis for harmonious relationship is a loveful state. And a loveful state is not giving love and begging for love. No. Loveful state, there is no giving love, there is no begging for love. You are loveful and relationships are naturally harmonious. The relationship with souls, matter, everyone and everything. It's not one or other. You have a harmonious relationship with everyone and everything. And that's a loveful state. And that loveful state is not achieved by begging for love or giving love. It's when you are in love with Baba, which you only have a choice to be at this point of time. So when there is an understanding that I am a soul and I belong to Baba, and Baba is the only one who is mine, then in this love you become loveful. When you do as he says, when you follow Srimad, then you become loveful. And then happiness, Baba says, happiness comes by doing good karma. So when you think about truth, when you speak uplifting words, when you do activity that makes the world a better place, you become happy. When you do seva, that will give you happiness. So Baba tells us the truth about everything. He tells us the truth, about purity, about love, about happiness, about peace, and then power also, bliss. Everything Baba tells the truth about. And then Baba says, when you have me, then I pull you into your original self. I restore you to who you are. And today Baba gives, so that's why, it's very important that people are pulled out of this idea of omnipresence. And they are told that excuse me. And they are told that God is your father, and a father gives inheritance, and God gives you the inheritance of a pure world by making you pure. So, and then when souls recognize God, so first is recognition, and then you surrender, then you do as he says, then that's how the world becomes heaven and you become a deity. And then today Baba talks about, waking up early in the morning and practicing to be bodiless. Okay, so, and I gave you the background of how body consciousness is the source of degradation. So, the more you identify with your body, and you see that the body is behaving so unpredictably these days. And then there are connotations of the body behaving in a certain manner. So, if earlier a fever was a fever, now a fever means something else. And then earlier, something else meant something, and now it means loss of life. So So there are so many connotations to everything, and every single thing that the body is going through is magnified in the mind. And the best thing is, when you have to leave the body, you have to leave the body. You don't have a choice about it. Do you have a choice about it? No. But then, what if you leave the body? No problem, you get another one. Yes? And then you get another one based on how you leave the body, not when you leave the body. Yes, but people are very concerned about when they leave, not how they leave. So nothing is early or late. Baba says you are already in Vanprasth. The world cycle has come to an end. So there is nothing early or late. So don't be too concerned about the when. Be concerned about the how. And Baba says, also be concerned about what you can contribute to the world while you're here. And in your hands lies the key to creating a new world while continuing in this old world. And what is that key? So Baba says that you want to send peaceful vibrations to the world, just practice being bodiless. So early in the morning, get up and just come to your awareness that you are just a peaceful point of light, a dot, a point form of light that is still, silent and peaceful. And when you do that, when you practice that, then your state of being starts to color the state of the world around you. So by being peaceful, you become a donor of peace. And then you think about your whole cycle. You think about how you were a deity, and then how people worshipped you in the temples, and how you donated, blessings to them on behalf of God in the temples, and how God chose you to do this noble work of world transformation, making you a Brahmin, and then how you're going to be an angel and then fly away to your soul world. And it will make you very happy. And when that makes you happy, when you churn the discus of self-realization and you become happy, then you make the world a happy place. Because being happy is donating happiness. And we are never happy except when we are churning the discus of self-realization. Because in the world, when we think we got something and we are happy, then just think about this thing. You're not happy until somebody knows. And until somebody... so, it's not happiness. It's happiness. It's very relative, and then if somebody is not happy because you're happy, then you get unhappy. And if somebody is happy because you're happy, also you get unhappy. Okay, so sometimes, sometimes you say that, so you are happy and you have a selfish interest. So you got a salary hike and then you say you're feeding off me and that's why you're happy because I got a salary hike. So that also makes you unhappy. So there are so many things in the world. So true happiness is only when you think about who you really are. And that's when you start donating happiness and you make the world a happy place. And Baba says, when you keep doing these practices, you also go back to your state of health and wealth. You become ever healthy and ever wealthy because you finish that rust within you, and then you go back to your original state, and your original state is healthy and wealthy. So this is something that Baba says today. So Baba is my parent, is not an omnipresent something. And then when I connect with Baba, I am restored to my original self. So it's very important that everybody recognizes their father. And then these two practices of donating peace and happiness have to be incorporated in everyday life. And then Baba today says that you should practice so much that your incorporeal and your angelic form become as common and ordinary for you as this corporeal form. And you see that when we are born, so everybody identifies with the physical body. Yes. Just imagine a scenario where everybody said that an angel is born and they have really good vibrations. And everybody said that you have a very nice aura around you and you're made of light. Then the child would grow up believing that he has a body of light which he has to take care of. But in this body conscious world, everybody says, okay, a boy is born or a girl is born, and then they say this is underweight or overweight, or the skin color is dark or light, or they have beautiful features or ugly features. Then you start identifying with that. And now Baba says, since you had parents who were very body conscious, you became body conscious. Now you have two fathers. One is Brahma Baba, who is an angel, and Shiv Baba, who is a point of light. And you love them. So when you love somebody, you want to meet them. And to meet Brahma Baba, you have to go to the subtle world. Yes? And for that, you have to become an angel. So you have to tap into your angelic body and go there. And then you have to leave your physical body and become a point and go to Shiv Baba and have a meeting there. So Baba says, when you keep practicing this, then for you the angelic form and the point of light form will also become as natural as your corporeal form is. And Baba says, when you love somebody, then changing into who they are becomes very easy. So love for Brahma Baba and love for Shiv Baba will help you shift from a corporeal consciousness to a subtle and incorporeal consciousness. Okay, Om Shanti.